What if you were born twice, and the second time, you came in with cheat codes no one else even knew existed? That is exactly what happened to Lin Sha, and by day 8, the entire chaotic source knew his name. Lin Sha sat in class the day the announcement dropped. The city government was handing out free fine-grade items to anyone willing to become a lord. His classmates buzzed with excitement, already imagining the loot. Lin Sha saw something different: desperation. Governments do not give away gear unless the front lines are bleeding badly. In their world, anyone over 18 can teleport into a place called the Chaotic Source Sea and claim a territory, become a lord, gain eternal life, incredible power. Sounds simple enough until you realize millions never come back. No quitting once you start, no second chances, and yet barely 3 million people sign up each year under normal circumstances. The free gear offer was designed to change those numbers fast. His seatmate, a chubby kid, leaned over and asked if Lin Sha was going. Yes, without hesitation. The kid envied that certainty, torn between greed and terror. Lin Sha did not try to sway him either way. Life and death decisions belong to the person making them. On January 1st, Lord Calendar Year 5084, Lin Sha arrived early at the central plaza of Chining City. A massive teleportation array glowed in the center, surrounded by thousands of people of every age. Teenagers, adults, elderly folk, all drawn by that single free item. Lin Sha estimated tens of thousands from their city alone. Across 5 continents and 300 cities, maybe 10 million new lords this cycle. Far more than any previous year. Then the array lit up. Water-like light swallowed the entire plaza, and they were gone. The moment the teleport ended, system messages flooded Lynch's awareness. Territory granted, Lord status confirmed. Then the identity check began, and it immediately glitched. The system called him a second-generation lord, then detected something wrong with his soul. Reclassified him as a first-generation lord through an error. His vision turned blood red. Something catastrophic seemed to be crashing down on him. Then, just like that, the system corrected itself. It told him he had awakened a talent called Infinite and handed him a starter pack. That made absolutely no sense. Talents and starter packs are exclusive to first-generation lords. The original Blue Star humans dropped into the Chaotic Source Sea over 5,000 years ago. Everyone born in the main world afterward, including Lin Sha, should be second generation. But Lin Sha carried a secret he had never told a single person. In his previous life, he was one of those Blue Star humans. He had been chosen alongside billions of others to descend into the Chaotic Source Sea. Except something went catastrophically wrong during his teleportation. He arrived more than 5,000 years late, and honestly, he counted himself lucky for it. Back then, billions of clueless people were thrown into the void with zero preparation. The slaughter was unimaginable. Most died within the first year. The survivors could be counted on one hand. Lin Sha was nobody special on Blue Star. He never would have made it. That 5,000-year delay had saved his life. He reincarnated into the main world, born to mid-level lord parents, and grew up with every advantage second-generation lords enjoy. Spirit-infused food, energy-soaked environments, cultivation techniques passed down by the first generation. By the time he turned 18, his constitution and spirit were both maxed at 10, the absolute ceiling for an unascended person. Then he opened his status panel and found his newly awakened talent, Infinite SSS-rank. Your strength and that of your troops and heroes will never be capped by your territory's level. You will grow without limit. Lin Sha read it twice, then a third time. In the Chaotic Source Sea, everything is tied to your territory's level. If your territory is level 0, everything is capped at 0, stats, troops, heroes, all of it. Infinite shattered that rule completely. He had no ceiling, no floor to grow from, and no ceiling to grow toward. Whatever his forces were capable of, they could become it fully. His territory itself was nothing special. 1,000 square meters, 0 population. 1 lord's mansion, room for 1 hero. Standard starter territory, average in every way. But the talent was anything but average. He also suspected something else. If the system had counted him as first generation, then the other first generation rewards might apply too. First kill rewards, first upgrade rewards, ranking prizes, the 7-day trial rewards, all created to help those original Blue Star lords survive the impossible. The easiest one to test was the first kill reward. He opened his inventory. The starter pack contents sat alongside 3 items his parents had carefully prepared: a random hero token, a random troop seal, and a wind feather bow, all rare grade. Quality tiers run from common, fine, rare, perfect, epic, legendary, to mythic. The city government was offering 1 fine grade item to attract new lords. Lin Sha was carrying 3 items a full tier above that. His parents had spared nothing for their only son. He drew the wind feather bow, a beautiful green longbow wrapped in elegant feathers, wind swirling faintly round it, and walked to his territory's eastern border. 1,000 square meters is tiny. He reached the edge in seconds. Beyond it stretched endless gray mist, the void, the space between territories in the chaotic source sea. The mist stirred. A black creature shaped like a hound stepped out, big as a calf, a single twisted horn on its head. It lunged at him and smashed into the invisible barrier between territory and void. Monsters could not cross it, but lords could pass through freely. Lin Sha stepped through the barrier, and the void hound charged immediately. He kicked it. The creature flew back over 10 meters, twitched on the ground, and died. A constitution of maybe 2 against his maxed out stats was like an infant against a grown man. Then the system chimed. Congratulations! You are the first to kill a tier 0 void monster. 10,000 source crystals and 1 common grade treasure chest. The first kill reward was real. He was first generation in every way that mattered. And since the system only counted first generation lords for these rewards, the millions of other new lords who had also been killing things at that exact moment did not qualify. None of their kills counted, only his. He had no competition because no competition existed. He was the only first generation lord in this entire cycle of 10 million. And the biggest rewards, the 7-day trial prizes, the first month ranking, the year-end final evaluation, were beyond imagination. World wonders, mythic grade items, treasures that exist only in legends. Lin Sha had learned about these from a certain Blue Star Lord, one of the handful of original survivors still alive, who had become a celebrity in the main world. Most people watched the Lord's movies and stories as entertainment. Lin Sha had watched them as intelligence briefings, and now that intelligence was paying off, he made his decision standing at the edge of the eastern void, Deadhound at his feet. He would push himself to the absolute limit, build the most perfect starting foundation anyone had ever constructed. The 7-day trial came first, and he had to perform as well as possible. A pack of void hounds came charging out of the gray mist before he had even finished thinking. He drew the wind feather bow, and the hunt began. Cyan arrows formed on the string one after another, each one punching through a hound and blowing it apart from the inside. Years of training gave him solid aim and solid instincts. When the mist went quiet, every hound in sight was dead. He stopped and thought about what he actually needed to maximize his evaluation score. Territory size, territory level, overall strength. None of those came from fighting alone. He opened the starter pack. 3,200 source crystals, food, wood, stone, 1 common hero token, 1 common troop seal. Underwhelming contents, but it was just the beginning of what he had available. He now had the hero tokens and the troop seals, 1 rare, 1 common of each. His level 0 territory only allowed 1 hero slot. He had to use the best option available. He activated the rare hero token. A phantom river appeared in the air, flickering with countless fragments of time. A figure took shape inside it and stepped forward. A tall, striking woman in red light armor, holding a long spear, killing intent rolling off her like a physical wall. Zhang Yao greets the Lord, she said, dropping to one knee. Command me as you wish. Lin Sha checked her stats and nearly choked. Constitution 60, Spirit 50, B-rank cultivation technique. 3 B-rank skills including mastery of both spear and bow. These were numbers that belonged to a tier 1 hero, not a tier 0 territory. His talent had done that. Infinite removed the level cap for his heroes just as it did for himself. Any other lord summoning her would have seen her stats crushed down to 10. His showed her true power. He told Zhang Yao to immediately clear the void territories to the west, south, and north. She did not hesitate. She shot into the western void like a bolt of red lightning and started tearing through everything in her path. While she worked, Lin Sha used the rare grade troop seal. A portal of light opened and black-armored warriors carrying heavy blades and shields marched out. 10 of them, the maximum possible. Constitution 35, Spirit 20. With C and D rank skills in defense and swordsmanship. Like Zhang Yao, Their stats broke past the Tier 0 cap entirely. He sent them all under Zhang Yao's command to clear the remaining void zones together. 1 hero and 10 rare soldiers filled his entire population cap. 0 workers, 0 resource gathering, all military, all offense. He would buy whatever resources he needed through the trading market. While his forces worked, he pushed into the eastern void alone, hunting down the last void hounds. About 20 of them, and after clearing them, a golden glowing chest appeared on the ground, an area chest. He opened it. Basic resources, crystals, a common crossbow. The gray mist vanished the moment the chest was opened, and the ground converted into solid earth merging with his territory. 2,500 square meters now. Zhang Yao returned shortly after, west, south, and north all cleared. He pointed toward the new edges and told her to keep going when the next layer connected. He collected the remaining area chests from the other 3 directions and watched his territory grow to 7,000 square meters. Level 0 to level 1 upgrade requirements were steep. 100,000 source crystals, 10,000 each of food, wood, and stone. 100,000 square meters of territory, 100 population, 1 hero, and 3 buildings. He had the population and the hero, everything else was far short. He opened the building menu and put down a dwelling in a tavern alongside the Lord's mansion. 3 buildings satisfied, cheaply and quickly. Territory size would come from clearing more void zones. The real bottleneck was resources. He opened the regional channel and joined the Chinese First High School group immediately. His name was recognized right away, only son of 2 mid-level lords, familiar reputation. He accepted all friend requests, then spotted something useful almost immediately. A guy a few years older, with a flashing icon, had sent a trade request, containing a rare grade hero token. Lin Sha accepted. 1 source crystal as token payment, a thank you, and the token was his. 2 more contacts delivered a rare troop seal and a rare source crystal card shortly after. Blood bags, a common arrangement in the main world. Strong enough allies carrying extra items for wealthy families favored children. His parents were only mid-level lords, so they had arranged 3. After the trial, they would be compensated. Nobody lost out. He used the source crystal card. 1 million source crystals hit his account instantly. He opened the trading market and bought everything he needed: food, wood, stone. The resource requirements filled almost immediately. Territory size was the only thing left, and Zhang Yao's team was handling that. He checked the school chat. Someone named Gao Yu was tagging him, offering a management position in a guild. Gao Yu was the big name from Chinese First High, family reportedly backed by a high-ranking lord. Lin Sha looked at his profile. Already at level 1 territory, clearly loaded with blood bags and territory expansion cards. He thought about the guild offer. Guild leaders always take the biggest share. Scraps left for managers were not worth his time. Starting his own guild was not practical, with only about 100 lords from his school, and no reputation to recruit strangers. So he took a completely different approach. He posted in the school group. He was not joining a guild, but he was offering vassal-level protection contracts in exchange for resources. The chat went quiet. Vassal-level protection meant he was obligated to send troops to defend someone, no matter how strong the attacker was. That was far beyond what any guild offered. Guild leaders routinely ignored members attacked by enemies too powerful to bother with. Gao Yu was shocked. Even he would not dare make that promise once. He figured Lin Sha must have pulled something incredible from an area chest, but shrugged it off. Most people would not sign up anyway. A contract that strong required trusting his strength completely. He was right. Only 3 people came. Lin Sha signed system enforced contracts with all 3, each delivering resources worth 100,000 source crystals during the 7-day period. Cheap for vassal-level protection, but pricing it higher would have priced out anyone who still needed to survive the trial. 3 contracts were not nearly enough. His real goal was to level the territory within 7 days. Among first-generation lords in history, almost nobody had managed that. Doing it would massively boost his evaluation score, but he needed far more. First things first, upgrade to level 1, get more followers, collect more protection fees. He could not just talk big, he had to show results. He joined Zhang Yao and the soldiers in clearing the 2nd layer of void zones. The monsters were stronger than the 1st layer, constitution and spirit around 4 or 5. But it did not matter. His arrows blew them apart with ease, and Zhang Yao's squad crushed everything in their path. For more area chests, better rewards, and his territory had grown to 37,000 square meters. Then the third layer connected to his border, and everything changed. Hundreds of black-tailed horses came stampeding out of the mist, and behind them lumbered massive creatures. Frenzied bull beasts over 3 meters tall, with crazed red eyes, Tier 1 monsters. On the third layer, for a level 0 territory, that was a serious, genuine threat. Zhang Yao charged the horse herd with her fine-grained spear pulled from a second layer chest. Every swing either impaled a horse completely or smashed it to pieces. The black-armored soldiers formed a wall of shields, cutting down horses as they crashed uselessly into the line. Lin Sha aimed a wind feather bow at the bulls in the back, 2 arrows per bull, methodical and precise, and he dropped them all before they could enter their frenzied state. The system chimed, first kill of a Tier 1 void monster, 100,000 source crystals and a fine-grade treasure chest. He kept shooting. The zones were bigger now, scattered enemies taking more time to hunt down, but after converting all for third layer zones, his territory hit 160,000 square meters. Every upgrade requirement was now met. He sprinted back to the Lord's mansion and hit the upgrade button. Golden light fell from the sky and wrapped around the building, transforming his tiny wooden shack into a 2-story brick structure in seconds. The light spread across the entire territory, and he felt the space becoming more stable, more real. Spiritual energy density jumped to match an ordinary region in the main world. The system rewarded him for being the first lord to upgrade a territory. 100,000 crystals and a fine-grade chest. Then came the territory adjustment, his one chance to reorganize the terrain before it locked in. He worked quickly. During the adjustment, he noticed something new had appeared. A small stone quarry spawned during the upgrade itself. His luck was not so bad after all. His updated territory panel showed level 1, 160,000 square meters, 1,000 population cap, room for 2 heroes. He still had a rare hero token and troop seal, but he held off using them. At level 1, rare grade summons would not be suppressed anymore. His talent's advantage would not show. He needed perfect grade or higher to really benefit. Unless forced, he would wait. Zhang Yao and the soldiers returned. He told them to rest and cultivate while the 4th layer connected. He checked Zhang Yao's stats. Her tier had automatically advanced to 1, matching the territory level. He started cultivating himself, using his technique called the evergreen method. His body became like a whirlpool, pulling in ambient spiritual energy, converting it into warm currents flowing through his cultivation paths. After some time, a tremor ran through his entire body, a wonderful sensation of transformation at the deepest level. He broke through to Tier 1. Constitution and spirit both rose to 11. The system gave him another first-place reward for being the first lord to advance to Tier 1. More crystals, another fine-grade chest. The rewards were stacking up, but checking cultivation speeds troubled him. 6 hours had passed and Zhang Yao had gained only 3 points in both stats. Too slow. Killing monsters gave no experience in this world. The only ways to grow stronger were cultivation, consuming rare treasures, or special methods. Even Zhang Yao, with her strong talent, would need 3 full days to reach the Tier 1 cap. Tier 2 was completely out of the question at this pace. He looked at level to upgrade requirements and felt the pressure double. 1 million source crystals, 100,000 each of food, wood, and stone, 10,000 iron ore, 1 square kilometer of territory, 1,000 population, to heroes. 3 level 1 buildings, 5 buildings total. He did not meet a single condition. He needed to stop expanding after the 4th layer and focus on strengthening what he had. When the 4th void layer finally connected, he handed the wind feather bow to Zhang Yao. She was his main damage dealer. He was now the weakest person in the group. Keeping the best weapon made no sense. My life is in your hands too, he told her seriously. She dropped to one knee, eyes burning. As long as I breathe, nothing will touch you. She took the bow like it was sacred, and after that, she glared at everything that so much as looked at him. The 4th layer zone was massive. They moved in carefully. Then the mist churned, and over 1,000 monsters charged from every direction. The black-armored soldiers stepped forward and formed a wall. Creatures smashed into shields and went nowhere. Wang Wu and his men swung their blades in silence, methodically cutting down everything in front of them. 10 soldiers holding back 1,000 monsters, cold, efficient killing machines. Zhang Yao watched the horde carefully. About 100 Tier 1 monsters mixed into the wave. When she fired the wind feather bow, The difference from when Lin Sha used it was staggering. A thick beam of cyan light exploded from the string and hit a Tier 1 monster dead center. The creature's body detonated and the shrapnel shredded every Tier 0 monster nearby. Point, fire, explosion. Even Tier 1 monsters with attributes in the 60s and 70s could not survive a single shot. After she wiped out all 100 plus Tier 1 monsters, the battle was basically over. Lin Sha split the soldiers into pairs to clean up stragglers while Zhang Yao stayed at his side. The golden area chest appeared, 60,000 crystals, resources, iron ore, and a blood-red fruit. His heart jumped when he read the description. A Tier 1 consumable that permanently adds 10 points of constitution, up to 3 times per person. Items that directly boost stats are extremely rare. He gave it to Zhang Yao without hesitation. She was his main damage dealer and got priority on everything like this. Her constitution jumped to 75, making the bow even deadlier in her hands. They cleared south and west zones without trouble, then moved to the north. The northern zone had been connected for a while, and the monsters inside had noticed. Green-skinned creatures with gaping mouths were pressed against the border in a crowd, waiting for the barrier to drop. Half-orcs, a proper species, not random wildlife. They travel in large organized groups around monster nests. If this was not a coincidence, then layers 5, 6, and beyond in the northern direction could be full of stronger half-orcs and their breeding nests. That changed things considerably, but Lin Sha did not overthink it. Kill first, worry later. The black-armored soldiers went in first. Tier 0 half-orc slaves, armed with nothing but wooden sticks, swarmed Wang Wu's squad. The soldiers blocked everything with shields and cut them down without giving a single inch. Once the soldiers established a foothold, Zhang Yao escorted Lin Sha in and started her massacre. Cyan Blast tore through clusters of enemies. She focused on the Tier 1 half-orc warriors in the back. Over 2,000 slaves and nearly 200 warriors, the toughest fight yet. He watched the battle closely, ready to use his spare rare hero token or troop seal the instant things turned dangerous. It never came to that. Zhang Yao and the soldiers pushed through the entire horde and killed every last half-orc. At the area chest deep in the mist, Lin Sha hesitated. If he did not open it, this void zone would not convert, delaying the 5th layer from connecting. The 5th layer's monsters were far beyond what he could handle right now. Leaving it sealed would buy him time, but he shook his head. He was chasing the best possible rewards. No room for playing it safe. He opened the chest. Crystals, resources, iron ore, and 10 frost clarity pills, cultivation boosters that speed up training. Back at his territory, rows of dwellings now stood inside the borders. Heroes and soldiers are living beings. They need places to sleep. He rewarded the troops and dismissed them to rest and cultivate. The 5th layer would not connect until at least tomorrow. His territory had reached 570,000 square meters. He opened the regional channel and made part of his territory information public. Then he posted another advertisement in the school group, offering more protection contracts. People checked his profile and lost their minds. Level 1 territory, 570,000 square meters, nearly as large as Gao Yu's. And Gao Yu was supposed to be the strongest lord from their school. 5 more classmates signed contracts on the spot. Gao Yu was stunned. He knew Lin Sha's family background could not afford territory expansion cards, which meant every square meter of that territory had been earned through actual combat. For layers of void zones cleared, he quickly decided to stay on good terms with someone this dangerous. With 8 total contracts secured, Lin Sha stopped recruiting from the school group. Everyone there knew his background well enough to doubt he could protect more than that. Instead, he messaged Gao Yu directly, with 0 beating around the bush. Do you have any spare perfect grade hero tokens or troop seals? Gao Yu's reply was essentially a question mark. Perfect grade hero tokens were not exactly lying around. Even his family would struggle to produce one. But he offered to ask around using his connections. He came through fast. His family's network across the region found someone with a perfect grade hero token for sale. He also heard about someone with a perfect grade barracks blueprint. He gave Lin Sha both contacts, and Lin Sha promised him 1 free rescue if his territory ever came under attack. Exactly what Gao Yu wanted. The first contact, a lord named Sunu, had a public profile showing a level 1 territory at only 150,000 square meters. He had probably gotten incredibly lucky with an area chest and was smart enough to wait for private offers. Lin Sha added him and got straight to the point. He wanted the perfect grade hero token. Sunu's price: 1 rare grade hero token plus 3 vassal level protections. 3 vassal level protections was extreme. Even Gaoyu would not promise that once. Your price is too high, Lin Sha told him. Sunu smirked on the other end. He had heard that line 100 times. His bottom line was firm. Before Sunu could close the chat, Lynch's next message appeared. So I will need to pay more. Sunu stopped, did a double take, read it again. He was the first person who had ever actually agreed to Sunu's terms. He confirmed the deal: 1 rare hero token and 3 vassal level protections. No negotiation. Lin Sha said fine, but Sunu would need to add resources or crystals to cover the difference. They hammered out the details, signed the contract, and the perfect grade hero token was secured. Next was the true problem. He looked up Gao's second contact, someone named Jin Ruan. The surname Ruan made him pause. The Genis Commerce Alliance was one of the biggest trade organizations in Dongjiao. Jin Ruan got straight to the point with zero small talk. He could provide a perfect grade troop seal after the 7-day trial. But right now all he had was a perfect grade barracks blueprint. Frost Fortress, a perfect grade barracks that recruited frost giants. A perfect grade troop type from the giant race. Lin Sha frowned. Frost giants were an alien species. Alien troops have the major problems. They do not coordinate well with existing forces, and their power systems are often completely different. Human territories run on spiritual energy. Frost giants were clearly magic-based creatures. They could not absorb spiritual energy to grow stronger. Whatever stats they had when summoned was what he would be stuck with, unless he fed them rare stat-boosting items or poured massive resources into them. That is why nobody had bought this blueprint. People who could afford it did not want the hassle. He told Jin Ruan the limitations made it overpriced. Jin Ruan sweetened the deal immediately, building materials included for free, and the first 10 frost giants at half recruitment cost. Lin Sha thought it over. The building materials alone were expensive, and yes, frost giants had long-term limitations, but they were still perfect grade troops with formidable starting strength. Other lords could wait for better options after the trial. He could not. He needed combat power right now. He agreed, asked to pay in installments, and after a row of dots on Jin Ruan's end, the merchant agreed. A strong lord was a quality customer. The blueprint would only lose value the longer he held it. Lin Sha laughed out loud in his territory. 1 rare hero token spent, and he had gotten a perfect grade hero token and a perfect grade barracks blueprint. His forces were about to become incomparably stronger. He went to the northern edge of his territory and started building the Frost Fortress. 6 hours to complete for a perfect grade structure. Then he returned to the Lord's mansion and used the perfect grade hero token and rare troop seal at the same time. The Phantom River appeared again, fragments of time swirling inside. A massive figure stepped out, a man built like an iron tower over 2 meters tall, carrying a giant battle axe, riding a jet black war horse. The pressure radiating from him was terrifying, like standing before an entire army. His presence dwarfed Zhang Yao's by far. At the same time, a light portal opened and soldiers marched through, every single one a cavalryman. Heavy riders in crimson armor, both horse and rider fully plated. The giant of a man leaped off his horse, and the ground shook when he landed. "Talai greets the Lord," he said, voice booming like a bell. Behind him, the Dragonlance Iron Cavalry knelt in unison. Lin Sha checked his stats and stopped breathing for a moment. Constitution 850, Spirit 680, a rank cultivation technique. For a rank skills including mounted combat mastery and a devastating axe technique. A perfect grade hero with tier to true strength. Though his displayed tier was locked at 1 by territory level. Thanks to Infinite, his actual power was not suppressed at all. Talai instantly became the strongest fighter in the entire territory, far beyond Zhang Yao. The Dragonlance Iron Cavalry were rare grade with constitution around 50, and spirit around 35, built for charging rather than holding lines. 10 of them, maximum again. 6 hours later, the Frost Fortress finished building. A small ice blue structure stood at the northern edge of his territory. The ground around it transformed to frozen tundra, bitter wind howling from inside. He opened recruitment and started summoning. The fortress doors opened and a 3-meter frost giant stepped out, knelt, and swore loyalty. He checked the stats and nearly choked. Constitution 710, Spirit 800, B-rank giant bloodline. For skills including ice magic and an ice armor ability, his raw numbers rivaled Tuli's. The deal was worth every crystal. He recruited the more frost giants before his money ran out completely. 3 was all he could afford, but the territory's fighting power had multiplied beyond recognition. By the second day, the 5th void layer connected. Lin Sha ordered everyone to assemble. He chose the northern zone first. He was right to expect trouble. Green-skinned half-orcs were already pressed against the invisible barrier, snarling and waiting. The black-armored soldiers went in first. Wang Wu's squad cut through the outer ring of Tier 0 half-orc slaves like they were nothing. But the 5th layer was on another level entirely. The number of Tier 1 half-orc warriors had exploded and they surged forward in waves. That threatened to swallow the soldiers whole. Zhang Yao rushed in and started firing. Massive cyan explosions tore through the horde, ripping apart clusters and pulling the black-armored soldiers back from the edge. She pushed their line forward 20 meters by herself. But this was only the beginning. More half-orcs poured from the mist. Thousands of them, including waves of Tier 1 warriors. Then Lin Sha spotted something worse, bigger, bulkier figures mixed into the regular warriors, wearing better equipment. Elite monsters, constitution and spirit maxed at 100 for their tier, roughly 3 times as tough as a normal monster with the same stats. A single full power shot from Zhang Yao punched clean through one, nearly ripping it in half. It died, but it did not explode like regular warriors, and that single shot had cost her serious effort. There were plenty more elites out there. With just her original squad, clearing this layer would have been nearly impossible. Then Lin Sha waved the frost giants forward. All 3 raised their palms. Intense magical energy gathered into massive blue-white orbs of light. Frost star explosion. 3 orbs streaked into different sections of the horde and detonated. The cold was beyond anything imaginable. Every monster caught in the blast, slaves, warriors, elites, shattered into ice crystals instantly. Beyond the kill zone, a tide of freezing air rolled outward and turned hundreds more into frozen statues. Even monsters farther away were slowed to a crawl, movements stiff and sluggish. Each explosion covered an area half the size of a football field. 3 blasts carved the entire battlefield into isolated sections. Perfect grade troops were worth every crystal spent. To lie, Lin Sha called. He had been waiting at the territory's edge, and when he heard the order, he split into a savage grin. Brothers, charge with me. He kicked his black war horse forward and blasted through the barrier like a dark wind. 10 dragon lance cavalrymen thundered after him. 11 fully armored heavy riders hit the battlefield at full speed. The ground shook under them. Every half-orc in their path was crushed into pulp. No resistance. No chance. Talai swung his giant axe in whirlwinds, turning everything within 10 meters into a death zone. Even elites could not survive passing through it. Only 11 riders, but they cut through that horde like an army of thousands. The black-armored soldiers swept in behind to clean up survivors. The half-orc nest deep in the mist fell quickly once Talai and the frost giants reached it. An energy shield of white light protected it, but once every uni piled on, the shield crumbled in under a minute. Without protection, the nest was leveled in seconds. Every surviving half-orc in the zone dissolved into black mist and vanished. The golden area chest appeared on the ruins. 90,000 crystals, mountains of basic resources, 1,000 iron ore, and a low-grade spirit gathering formation. His heart jumped at that last item, a formation that draws an ambient spiritual energy and concentrates it, multiplying cultivation speed several times over. Exactly what he needed. After converting the northern zone, he pointed the army at the other 3 directions. East, south, and west had no nests, just wild monsters, tens of thousands of them, but without reinforcements to replenish themselves. They fell steadily under Talai's overwhelming power and the frost giant's bombardment. Back at his territory afterward, he checked the panel. Territory size 1.9 square kilometers. Population 550 out of 1,000. To heroes, both slots filled. Resources were tight. Buildings were almost there. But everything except resources and buildings was nearly ready for the level to upgrade. He collected resources from his 8 contract holders, then messaged Jin Ruan about buying more recruitment materials and selling mining rights to his resource nodes. He could not spare the population to extract or himself. Selling the rights made more sense than leaving the nodes idle. Jin Ruan checked his profile before replying. When he saw 1.9 square kilometers, he was shocked. His top clients, elite heirs from massive factions, had also cleared the 5th layer, some already at level 2. But they had entered with every possible advantage: blood bags, perfect grade heroes, mountains of supplies. Lin Sha had none of that background and had not even bought perfect grade troops until yesterday. Yet he was right on the heels of those top-tier lords. Jin Ruan could tell from his own reaction that he had just quietly upgraded Lin Sha from a regular customer to someone worth investing in seriously. In his eyes, Lin Sha had already become more important than Gao Yu. He sold the resource nodes to Jin Ruan and poured everything back into supplies. First, he upgraded the Frost Fortress to level 1. It grew much larger and could now hold 10 Frost Giants. He recruited all 10, filling 500 population slots. For the last 100 slots, he used directed recruitment tokens, tools that let you recruit one more of an existing troop type. At a higher cost per unit, he chose black armored soldiers for the front line. 5 tokens, 5 new soldiers, all arriving at tier 1. Every upgrade requirement was now met except buildings. He needed 3 level 1 buildings and 5 total. He upgraded the tavern to level 1, built watchtowers on all 4 borders. Done. All conditions satisfied. He opened the territory panel and hit upgrade. Golden light poured from the sky, far more magnificent than the first time. The Lord's mansion transformed from a brick building into a 3-story structure, with full furnishings. The light spread across the entire 1.9 square kilometers, stabilizing the space and flooding it with spiritual energy drawn from the void. The energy density of a level to territory surpassed most regions in the main world. The system rewarded him for being the first lord to reach level 2, 1 million source crystals, and a rare grade treasure chest. During the territory adjustment, new resource nodes had appeared to small stone quarries, a small iron mine, a large forest, and a small silver mine. Silver was far more valuable than anything else he had found so far. His territory panel now showed level 2, population cap of 10,000, room for 3 heroes, plenty of room to grow. He looked at level 3 requirements and one item stopped him cold. A lord's heart, obtainable only one way: killing another lord and destroying their territory. The chaotic source forces lords to kill each other. Even peaceful lords must eventually take a life to advance. Coexistence is not an option, but during the 7-day trial, all lords remained isolated. No invasions were possible. Level 2 was the absolute ceiling for any new lord, regardless of wealth or power. He was already there. To maximize his 7-day evaluation, he needed to push territory size and overall strength as far as possible. Back in the school chat, people noticed his level to territory and the reaction was explosive. Most classmates were still at level 0. Gao Yu was at level 1 and considered the strongest. Nobody had expected Lin Sha to quietly leap past both of them. Gao Yu could not understand why he would dare upgrade this early. After the trial, veteran alien lords in the first source he could find and invade you. A level to territory attracted level to enemies. Gao Yu had the resources to upgrade, but deliberately stayed at level 1, because he was not confident he could survive those attacks. He figured Lin Sha was either reckless or hiding some incredible trump card. 8 contract holders panicked too. If Lin Sha got invaded and destroyed, their resources were gone. Some would have broken the contract if they could, but system-enforced contracts required both parties to agree. Words would not convince anyone. Results would, and that made something clear. Even people who knew him were wavering. Strangers would be even harder to recruit. He needed someone with real credibility to vouch for him. Jin Ruan was the obvious choice. The Genis Commerce Alliance was famous across the entire main world. Their reputation in Dongzhou was unmatched. If Jin Ruan backed him publicly, it would change everything. He contacted him, did business first, sold off resource nodes and spare items, let a pile of crystals flow in and back out as supplies. Then he pitched his real idea. Jin Ruan checked his profile, saw level 2, and Lin Sha could tell that impressed him. He understood what it meant. Confidence enough to face tier 2 and even tier 3 alien lords. Lin Sha pitched it, used the Genis Commerce Alliance's name and reputation to recruit more protection contract clients from the broader pool of new lords. In return, 10% of everything collected. If he had asked this when they first met, Jin Ruan would have refused instantly. The alliance's reputation was priceless. But after watching his progress, he actually considered it. He agreed, cautiously, starting with 10 lords. If results proved out, he would expand. Lin Sha also asked about loans. 10 million crystals, low interest, payable within a year. The amount reflected exactly how seriously Jin Ruan now took him. The crystals arrived immediately and left just as fast, converted into resources and supplies. The fresh loan plus 10 new clients through Jin Ruan's network changed his financial position entirely. Back in his territory, he upgraded the Frost Fortress to level 2. It grew larger, could now hold 20 Frost Giants, and unlocked the barracks technology research tree. He checked the tech tree. Rows of upgrades branched out, improvements to bloodline, skills, attack, defense, and health. He upgraded Frost Offensive to level 2 for a 20% attack boost when initiating combat. Then he recruited 10 more Frost Giants, maxing the fortress at 20. The new ones came out at 5 meters tall in Tier 2, the natural state, for perfect grade troops. The original 10 had been suppressed at Tier 1 by the old territory level. Now they automatically advanced to Tier 2 as well, growing to match the newcomers. Dalai advanced to Tier 2 automatically too. But Jin Ruan had no perfect grade barracks or troop seals in stock. No perfect grade hero tokens either. These things simply were not common. Most people who pulled one from a chest kept it. Rare grade troops were not worth it anymore. They would come out at Tier 1 and need heavy investment just to approach the raw stats of perfect grade forces, while still falling behind in skills and techniques. He decided to wait and use directed recruitment tokens, instead to bring his existing black armored soldiers and Dragon Lance cavalry up to 20 each, a manageable number to supply and train properly. Near the Lord's mansion, he set up the spirit gathering formation from the northern nest. Zhang Yao and Dalai stayed inside it around the clock. The 8 remaining slots rotated between soldiers. He bought a second formation from Jin Ruan, with 2 running. All 40 human soldiers could cycle through optimal training. He even squeezed himself into a slot when one opened. By day 3, the 6th void lay connected. He called a full assembly. Looking at his forces lined up, he felt genuine pride for the first time. Every single unit had reached Tier 2. He checked a random black armored soldier. Constitution to 110. Spirit 170. Zhang Yao's stats had exploded. Constitution 750. Spirit 720. She had gone from under 100 in both stats when first summoned to matching Frost Giants in raw numbers, while vastly outclassing them in actual combat. But Dalai was the real monster. Constitution to 1700, Spirit to 1000, still technically Tier 2, but his true strength had crossed into Tier 3 territory. The killing intent rolling off him was enough to make anyone's blood run cold. The 6th layer assault began immediately. The difference from before was staggering. Wang Wu led 20 black armored soldiers into the zone, and this time they charged straight into the densest pack. Half-orc slaves were insects. A single shield bash sent dozens flying. The Frost Giants moved in X. Frost Star explosions carved the battlefield into isolated sections. Dalai and the Dragon Lance cavalry charged through the gaps, slaughtering everything they touched. The eastern zone even produced a Tier boss, a monster 10 meters tall, like a mountain of flesh barreling forward at shocking speed. A Tier boss on the 6th layer was the worst possible luck, something that could devastate an unprepared army in seconds. But it had the misfortune of running into Lynch's forces. "Kill it," he ordered. Zhang Yao's eyes sharpened and she started to draw the bow, but Dalai was faster. "Die, beast." He launched himself off his horse with a thunderous roar. His axe came down in a single blinding arc of blood-red light that split the boss clean in half, from head to toe. Then he swung again and again, carving it into countless chunks before it even hit the ground. Dead beyond any question. And then everything changed, because when Lin Sha opened the Eastern Zone's area chest, among the usual resources sat a perfect grade hero token. He stared at his inventory to make sure it was real. Then he laughed out loud. Getting the Tier boss on only the 6th layer had not been bad luck at all. It had boosted the chest quality, and he had pulled one of the rarest drops possible. He used it immediately. The Phantom River appeared. A towering figure stepped out over 2 meters tall, wearing heavy earth-colored armor, carrying an enormous shield in one hand and a ridiculously oversized war hammer in the other. Where Dalai radiated savage killing intent, this new hero felt like an immovable mountain. Quiet, solid, impossible to ignore. Chong Yu greets the Lord. Constitution 920, Spirit 820. A rank cultivation technique and for rank skills focused on defense and earth-shattering attacks. Raw stats even higher than 2 lead starting numbers, approaching the Tier limit. Gaining a third perfect grade hero was a massive boost. Once Chong Yu's strength grew into tier 3 range like Tuli's, his territory would have to unstoppable champions. With the eastern zone cleared, all for 6th layer zones were done. The 7th layer would take even longer to appear, so he led everyone home, bought food and wine from the market, and let the troops celebrate. His territory had ballooned to 6.8 square kilometers. On his end, Jin Ruan was watching his progress alongside the elite heirs from the biggest factions. When 6th layer clearing began, their territory sizes all jumped as they conquered zone after zone. Lin Sha jumped right alongside them. He was keeping pace with lords who had entered with every possible advantage. That was all the proof Jin Ruan needed. He decided to increase his investment significantly. More protection contract clients, bigger loans, and a contact from another major trade alliance who had just acquired a perfect grade barracks blueprint and needed a buyer. Jin Ruan offered to pay double after returning to the main world. The other merchant agreed immediately. The new blueprint's details arrived in Lin Sha's messages: Storm Camp, a perfect grade barracks recruiting Wind Shadow archers, a human perfect grade troop type. Human troop type, not alien. His heart nearly leaped out of his chest. Unlike frost giants, who could not cultivate with spiritual energy, human troops could train and grow in his territory without any limitation. The long-term potential was incomparably higher. The price was steep, far beyond what his resource sales covered. The fresh loan vanished immediately. He could not have cared less. He rushed back and built the storm camp on the southern side of his territory. 6 hours later, a shadowy campsite stood there, surrounded by fierce winds that grew more violent the closer you approached. He recruited his first Wind Shadow archer. A man in leather armor stepped out carrying a longbow. Constitution 620. Spirit 600. He asked the archer to demonstrate his abilities. The man raised his bow and fired. A pale cyan streak shot across the sky so fast Lin Sha almost missed it. That a second, a third, 3 arrows per second, each carrying serious power. He could already picture it. 20 Wind Shadow archers firing at full speed, an endless rain of cyan streaks, pouring into a monster horde. The thought sent a chill of excitement down his spine. Wind Shadow archers solved everything frost giants could not. 3 arrows per second each, and when they stopped firing, they faded into shadows, nearly invisible, nearly impossible to target. He upgraded the storm camp to level 2 and recruited 20 archers. He unlocked the barracks tech and put points into attack speed for a 20% boost to their already insane firing rate. His population hit 6,000 out of 10,000. Both barracks were maxed out. For spirit gathering formations ran around the clock. 3 heroes got permanent spots. Wind Shadow archers had next priority. By day 4, the 7th void layer connected. Every hero and soldier had grown significantly. Tuli's attributes had climbed past 4,000. Zhang Yao and Chong Yu had both broken into tier 3 level strength, with attributes around 1 to 2,000. The Wind Shadow archers were the strongest soldiers at over 900. Approaching the tier to ceiling, strange monsters were already gathered at the eastern border. Black apes with 4 arms radiating dark energy. 4-armed demon apes. He had never seen them before, but it did not matter. Chong Yu, take point, he ordered. Chong Yu marched forward without a word, shield and hammer in hand. Black armored soldiers filing silently behind him. The moment he crossed the barrier, every ape in sight lunged at him. He did not even raise his shield. He just swung his hammer in a wide arc. Every ape it touched exploded into red mist. The shock wave from the swing killed everything else nearby. He walked through the monster horde like he was taking a stroll, his hammer leaving nothing alive wherever it passed. Then the Wind Shadow archers attacked. The result was beyond anything Lin Sha had imagined. Countless pale cyan streaks poured out like a storm, shredding every 4-armed demon ape in sight. In roughly 10 seconds, over 1,000 monsters were dead. The Wind Shadow archers were a game changer. His army's killing power had jumped to a completely different level. The 7th layer was enormous, several square kilometers, a few hundred meters in. They hit the biggest monster wave yet. Tens of thousands of creatures swarmed from every direction. The archers opened fire immediately. In 1 minute alone, they killed over 10,000 monsters. Frost giants launched frost star explosions to divide the battlefield. Soldiers and cavalry charged into the gaps. 10 minutes. That was all it took to wipe out the entire wave. Over 100,000 monsters including thousands of tier 2 1s and over 100 tier 2 elites. Most of the time was spent searching for enemies, not fighting them. All for zones cleared. His territory exploded to 25 square kilometers. He used directed recruitment to max out his population at 10,000. 20 frost giants, 20 wind shadow archers, 60 black armored soldiers, 60 dragon lance cavalry. Then he focused everything on cultivation, pushing every unit harder with spirit gathering formations and training supplies funded by protection fees from Jean Ruan's growing client list. Only one battle remained before the 7-day trial ended. But before it began, Talai came to him with a concern. His cultivation speed had dropped dramatically. Investing more resources in him might no longer be worthwhile. Lin Sha questioned him carefully. After his attributes crossed the tier to ceiling and entered tier 3 range, the training speed had plummeted. Not just the natural difficulty of higher tiers, something extra. An additional resistance beyond what should be there. He called over Zhang Yao, Chang Yu, and one soldier from each troop type. Zhang Yao confirmed the same resistance, though weaker than Tuli's. Chang Yu confirmed it too. The soldiers felt nothing at all. The difference was clear. All three heroes had broken past the tier to attribute ceiling. The soldiers had not. The resistance appeared only after exceeding the tier's natural limit. His talent was the cause. Infinite let everyone grow beyond territory level caps. But the further past the natural tier limit they pushed, the harder it became. He asked Talai where the cutoff point was, where investment stopped being worthwhile. Talai had experienced it firsthand and gave clear numbers. 6,000 in attributes for himself and Chang Yu, 4,000 for Zhang Yao, 2,000 for wind shadow archers. The rare soldiers should just max out at the tier to ceiling. Lin Sha adjusted the training plan immediately, redirecting excess resources into building upgrades instead. By day 6, the 8th void lay connected. He assembled everyone. All 3 heroes and the 20 wind shadow archers had hit their target attributes. With strength firmly in tier 3 range, many soldiers had reached the tier to ceiling. Even newer recruits were close. Add in 20 frost giants, and this was among the very strongest forces any new lord possessed. This is the last battle. He told them, fight with everything you have. We will die for the Lord. They roared in unison. 0 casualties across every engagement since entering the chaotic source sea. Morale was sky high. The 8th layer was terrifying, endless monster waves, most at tier 1 and tier 2, with thousands of tier 2 elites and multiple bosses. Against the wind shadow archers, everything died equally, even tier 2 elites fell to 2 arrows. And the 3 heroes moved through that battlefield like gods. The last void zone was the worst. Over 500,000 monsters had gathered, including 60,000 tier 2 creatures, 2,000 tier 2 elites, and several tier 2 bosses. Even his army had to fall back, not because they were outmatched, but because they simply could not kill fast enough. 500,000 monsters stretched endlessly across the landscape. They retreated to the territory border and fought with the invisible barrier at their backs. No threats from behind meant Talai, Chang Yu, and everyone else could unleash their full power without restraint. Every swing killed dozens, every arrow killed, every frost star explosion cleared a whole section. Brutal, grinding, but eventually all 500,000 monsters lay dead. His territory had ballooned to 87 square kilometers. On the 7th day, he sat inside a spirit gathering formation and waited. At noon, the system announcement thundered across the entire source sea. The 7-day trial had officially begun. He did not move. His watchtowers showed nothing. He had wiped out the 8th layer days ago, and the 9th had not linked up yet. For him, this trial was a formality. Then the final announcement came. The 7-day trial has concluded. You are now a true lord. The personal notifications cascaded in. Territory level 2, grade A upper, 10,000 points. Territory size 100 square kilometers, grade A upper, 10,000 points. Overall strength extremely high, grade A upper, 10,000 points. First among human first-generation lords, 10,000 points, 0 casualties, 1,000 points. More bonuses stacked. Final total, 43,500 points. Then a message he had never seen before. Detected score exceeding 40,000. Special shop unlocked. Your 7-day trial score has set a new historical record. A title earned, Eternal Lord. No Blue Star Lord in history had ever scored above 40,000 points. And he had not just passed the threshold. He had broken the all-time record. He opened the points shop and his breath caught. Epic grade hero tokens for 300 points. Special building blueprints starting at 50. World wonders available. Even legendary grade items, though a single legendary hero token costs 3,000 points, which was already 90% discounted from the original 30,000. Then he opened the special shop, far fewer items, but each one made his breath catch. Mythic grade hero token, 20,000 points after his discount. And the most expensive item was not mythic grade. It was something called the Slaughter Divine Authority, a unique type called an authority, a word he had never encountered before. Any unit in his territory that kills a living being earns slaughter points, which can be spent to upgrade heroes and troops quality grades. Upgrade quality, turn a rare hero into perfect, perfect into epic, maybe even higher. He agonized over the choice, mythic hero token versus Slaughter Divine Authority. Then a warning appeared when he tried to buy the mythic token. Territory level must reach 8 before a mythic grade hero can be summoned. Level 8 meant the third source C, years away. He bought the Slaughter Divine Authority. 30,000 points vanished. A new counter appeared on his personal panel, slaughter points, 0. Then he turned to the title, Eternal Lord. Upon activation, your tier and attributes synchronize with the highest values among all living beings in your territory. This synchronization never decreases, even if the corresponding hero or troop dies. Additionally, you gain mastery of all skills possessed by your current heroes and troops. His biggest weakness had always been himself, the weakest link in his own territory. He had planned to find a proper cultivation technique after returning to the main world, and slowly build his personal strength. This title made all of that irrelevant. He activated it instantly. Power flooded through him like nothing he had ever felt. His body transformed at its deepest level. His mind became impossibly clear, aware of the smallest shifts in his surroundings. He opened his stats panel. Tier 2. Constitution 6,720, Spirit 6,510, and below that, a massive list of skills copied from every hero and troop in his territory. Chong Yu's mountain-shattering techniques, Tu Li's cavalry mastery, Zhang Yao's spear and bow skills, the Wind Shadow Archer's stealth and marksmanship, the Frost Giant's ice magic, the soldier's defensive abilities. All of them, his attributes had jumped from the teens to over 6,000 in an instant. He could kill 1,000 of his former selves with a single punch. The system chimed one more time. First Lord to reach Tier 2. 1 million crystals and a rare chest. He opened the chest absently, a rare sword barely registered. He took a slow breath and let everything settle. The 7-day trial was over. The journey was just beginning. After isolation lifted, nearly 10 million surviving new lords merged into the first Source's main human communication network. The Prodigy rankings published the top 100 lords from their batch of 10 million. First place, Wei Xuanqi. Second, Yun Jua. Third, Kai Long. Seventh, Lin Sha. 7th out of 10 million, the highest ranked dark horse on the entire list. Every other surprise entry sat well below him. The Lords Association moved immediately. Every top 100 new lord was summoned to headquarters in Shanjing City. Jin Ruan was waiting when he arrived. First time meeting face to face, sharp, efficient, all business. The other prodigies studied Lin Sha with mixed expressions, curiosity, resentment, challenge. He ignored them, sat down next to Jin Ruan, and asked casually, 7th on the rankings, how did he do? Jin Ruan gave him a thumbs up. One word, incredible. But the real news came from the vice president of the Lords Association, a tall middle-aged man named Guo Zhou, who walked in and scolded everyone for losing their composure. The Heavenly Martial Alliance, humanity's strongest organization in the first Source, was gone. Destroyed a month ago by a Sin race trader operating inside it. Classified until now. To precision blows from the Sin race had crippled humanity's infrastructure in the first Source. First the Genis Commerce Alliance's first Source branch, then the Heavenly Martial Alliance. Because of the crisis, support for Prodigy ranked lords was being upgraded one tier. Everyone on the list could choose one epic grade item. Top 10 got 2. Top 3 got 3. The room lit up. Epic grade items for everyone. Unprecedented. Lin Sha was 7th. To epic grade items from the association, plus 1 Jin Ruan had promised. 3 epic grade items total. Guo Zhou called out 6 names when dismissing the others, Lynch's included, the 6 dark horses. Lords without major faction backing. He looked at them with genuine respect. You outperformed prodigies from the most powerful families in the world. That proves you're exceptional. He told them to look through investment offers from major factions that had already flooded their inboxes. Lin Sha scrolled through his generous offers, epic grade items on the table. But every contract required joining a guild or alliance and completing assigned missions with terms, starting at 3 years minimum in the first sorcery. Trapped. Every single offer would trap him in the first sorcery when he had no intention of staying. He could not accept any of them. Then Gu'er made his own pitch. Joined the Lords Association's plan to rebuild the Heavenly Martial Alliance. 5-year commitment. Lin Sha walked up to Gu'er directly. Can we talk privately? I will sign with the association, he said in the side room, but the terms need to change. 5 years is too long. Instead, let me clear a portion of the obstacles blocking the Alliance's reconstruction. Watch my performance, scale your support accordingly. Gu'er almost laughed. Did you just say you would clear the obstacles? He laid out exactly what those obstacles were. Tens of thousands of veteran Tier 3 lords from the Purgatory race, the Sin race, and their vassal species, entrenched for decades, far beyond what any newly minted lord could challenge. Now do you understand how ridiculous you sound? He finished. Vice President, why not try? The worst outcome is disappointment. Your actual losses would be minimal. What Gu'er did not know was the truth behind that confidence. The first sorcery has a power ceiling. Tier 3, Lin Sha had no ceiling. Those veteran lords might be deeply entrenched with thick defenses and years of accumulated resources, but against absolute power, endurance, and fortifications only delayed the inevitable. Gu'er stared at him for a long moment. I haven't met someone this bold in years. If young people aren't bold, what's the point of being young? He laughed and agreed to the terms. For his second epic grade item, Lin Sha traded it for equivalent resources instead of taking another hero token. For his first, he chose a barracks, the Blazing Purgatory Dragon Nest, an epic grade barracks that recruited Skyburn Flame Dragons. Dragons, the universally acknowledged top-tier species. He already had giants in his territory. Adding dragons seemed perfectly fitting. He returned to his territory, built the Dragon Nest, recruited 20 Skyburn Flame Dragons, summoned an epic grade assassin hero named Ch'ning, whose stats made even the dragons tremble, and upgraded his territory to level 3. First lord to reach level 3, among 10 million new lords, most still at level 0 or 1. The Sin race mobilized immediately. The Purgatory race issued bounties. Every hostile lord in the first sorcery sharpened their blade and started searching. And one by one, they found him, and one by one, they were destroyed. Invasions came repeatedly, rare grade forces, perfect grade forces, established lords with decades of experience. None of them made it past his walls. Lin Sha had entered the chaotic sorcery with one secret no one else knew, and by the time his enemies understood what they were truly facing, it was already far too late.